Hi again, everybody. WB here for Third Act Studios. And if you can hear some whining over here, it's either the guys outside mowing, which I'm not, or the robot. I've turned on his crown motors and stuff. Some people ask about that. People like the robot. I like the robot too. He's a great design. And another design that I really like is one that I came up with for a film that I did called Matt Mercury, Plot of the Galactic Mastermind. And we'll go take a look at that now. So what, you might say, the heck is this? Well, this is my spaceship. Actually, not my spaceship, it's Matt Mercury's spaceship. But this is the spaceship that I built for a film I made quite a few years ago now. And I continue to make Matt Mercury products. We've got books coming out, we've got a comic book coming out, we've got animations online, and this is something I got to do when I became a retired 60-year-old. Now, I've been doing creative stuff all my life, and at the time that I made this film, I'd actually been working for Lucasfilm for about 7 years doing Star Wars stuff. I did comic books and coffee table books and designed characters and worked on all sorts of different projects for them. And at some point, they came along and asked me to apply for the art director position for the prequel films. That, of course, was a great honor to anybody, but I didn't really jump on it because I'd been doing Star Wars for 7 or 8 years, 6 or 7 years, and I wanted to do my own thing. You know, I like telling my own story. I grew up with Star Trek and Star Wars and things, and I wanted to make movies and designs and characters that I could tell stories that I wanted to tell. And the deal is with Lucasfilm is they didn't pay as much. I was working a 9-to-5 job. That I was art director for a major corporation. I was getting paid a lot of money, had dental insurance. And when the Star Wars people, Lucasfilm, asked me to apply for this art director's job, I said, do you have dental insurance? What's your 401k plan? And they never had anybody ask them questions like that before. And they said, why are you asking me those questions? The person I was talking to said that. And I said, well, because I've got a great 401k and a great dental plan. Anyway, I stuck with that because I knew that I didn't want to tell someone else's story. I wanted to tell my own story. Back to the conspicuously blinking object at hand. So this is the ESS Electra, and it's named after, of course, Carmen Electra. There's a poster of her in the rec room on the ship. You only find out that if you read the books, though, so you need to read the books. If you notice, it's painted in a paint scheme that's reminiscent of the things that I enjoy, Starfleet things. And it's designed with all the different ships and submarines and stories and vehicles that I grew up watching that I really enjoyed. I liked the fact that it could stand on its pylons. These outrigger motors, actually when it lands, it sits on these, which kind of made me feel like I was doing a little homage to the space station from the Lost in Space, Space Family Robinson comic books, which I really enjoyed. I never could figure out why they didn't have a robot in that thing, but that's a whole nother story. It also has a general shape of the submarine Stingray, which as a little kid, I just loved the submarine Stingray. It even has the little torpedo tubes, which are laser cannons here. It has a domed bridge, which I always thought was great. The idea of having the bridge be a complete glass dome. I'd never seen that in any films. Now, since I produced this thing, we've seen it in several different films. In fact, I think some Star Trek things have a bridge that's clear now. Guardians of the Galaxy was the first one I noticed after we did this that kind of picked up on that. And if you notice, when this thing goes into hyperwarp on our movie, if you ever watch our movie, which you can on mattmercury.com for free, and Tubi and Hulu and all those other streaming services. You can find it everywhere, but you have to type in Matt Mercury. It's called Matt Mercury, Plot of the Galactic Mastermind. But anyway, when this thing goes into warp, if you notice, the stars turn into a big river of light. Now, I'd never seen that in any movie. And if you go back and look at all the different movies that have been made, you never saw that. You saw light streaming at the camera in the Star Wars movies, but that's the only real movement of light while you're in the warp stream. If you go and look at the J.J. Abrams films, of course, they saw Matt Mercury, which I know they did because I handed it to some of those guys. And lo and behold, you've got a colorful light stream that the ship travels through. I'm not saying that they picked it up, but I think we had some sort of impression that caught their eye, and we enjoyed the fact that we're making an impact, even a little one, somewhere. So anyway, this thing was made out of fiberglass. I made a mold of it. I actually made an original, hand sculpted it out of foam. Then I covered it with fiberglass, cut it in half, dug the foam out, shoved electronics in it, glued it back together, and it's actually glued together. So if these electronics die or fade or something, in fact, the running lights aren't working right now. It's got strobes on it and stuff. There's a loose wire in here. I could probably get them to work, but I figured, watch the movie. You get to see the strobe lights in the movie. Anyway, it's all internally lit, and if it dies someday, it's not going to get lit again because I can't get back into this thing. I'm one of these guys where I don't have the time or the money or the expertise to make it so that it comes apart and I can get in and work on it. I just glue it all back together and light the thing and hope for the best. So it's got several neat features on it. Again, if you look close, you can see different parts of different models that you would be familiar with that are attached to it. And it's just a fun design. We originally had a rocket ship, a traditional, in fact, the whole Matt Mercury movie was going to be black and white and look very much like a 50s sci-fi movie. That's what I wanted to do. I'd actually seen The Lost Skeleton of Cadavra, which is a fun movie if you like that kind of thing. Larry Blameyer did that, and I'm a big fan of his, and he knows it. And, I just wanted to do something like that. And what we ended up doing, because HD had become more affordable by the time we started making this thing, so it went from being a black and white serial to, oh, it's got to be HD, it's got to have color, it's got to have detail, and it can't be just a simple little rocket shape. It's got to be something creative, so that's why I got into doing it this way. Anyway, this is the spaceship. Enjoyed building it. It's reminiscent of the things I grew up enjoying. And, all this stuff, I'm showing you all this stuff because I think you're interested in it, number one, but also because it's showing things that you can do if you've made good decisions in your 60s. You're retired, now you can do your creative work, whether it's being a painter or it's being a writer or it's being somebody who likes playing music. I know a lot of guys in my age group go out and start bands and really get back into things they liked when they were young. And for me, I was a big film fan, big sci-fi fan, so that was what I've done. Again, you can see the animations, which are ongoing. I'm still making those, and I'm making them by hand. I'm not using AI. I've seen people do our characters in AI, and it looks really great, but I just like doing everything by hand. We also have a comic book that's coming out. I'm going to scoot around the ship and knock it. Oh, the disaster. The poor ship is under attack. Oh, anyway. So I'm going to pick up a drawing. I have no room in here. This is a little drawing of the Electra for the comic book. And you'll see the comic book coming out soon. If you keep up with mattmercury.com, stuff takes a long time to get up there because it takes us a long time to make these. I'm making them pretty much by hand, comic books, all that. I've got other folks helping me with writing the books, which I appreciate. They got into the idea of the story and the characters, and they're going off in one direction. Comic books are going off in another direction. Animations are going everywhere. It's like a potpourri of action. So anyway, thanks for taking the time to join me again on Third Act Studios, and be sure and like and subscribe. Apparently that's a thing. If you like and subscribe, I don't know, maybe I get money. Maybe I get a dental insurance plan. Anyway, see you next time.